We've been working in 2 districts in southwest Uganda called Rukungiri and Kanungu, for the last 15 years. So we were officially a teenager. And we started as a small 2-room classroom, and then we grew into 2 primary schools. We just opened a secondary vocational school, which is gorgeous. And we have students all the way up through their 2nd year of university. We even have an international student studying at Vancouver Island University on a full ride scholarship. We believe in human rights, and we believe in a holistic approach. So we don't just provide education, we provide the supports around education to help every student be successful. So we also provide 2 meals every day. We provide clean water that benefits the entire community. We have a health clinic, the Mummy Drayton Clinic, which was built by Ingrid Scott, who's here today. And we also have 2 libraries with Wi-Fi, which is extremely popular in the communities. And then a few months ago, we had an experience that was earth-shattering to us. A 9-year-old girl who attends our school was raped by a 35-year-old man. It was the first incident of rape that we were aware of, that was reported to us through a discussion about sexual assault with the students. It opened our eyes to this problem that had been lurking below the surface in our community. We're still trying to understand it, so I don't have all the answers today, but I can tell you that we are working to know more all the time. We realized initially that the police are not helping. They charge families an 8-pound holding fee to hold the attacker in jail until they can be prosecuted. If a family can't afford that, which is very likely for a grandmother raising HIV AIDS orphans, for a normal family, it can equate to about a month's salary. If they can't afford that, then their attacker can go free. If they pay a bribe to the police, the attacker can go free. We also learned that orphans are targeted specifically because they're less likely to be able to pay a holding fee. In our search, we spoke to a survivor who had been raped repeatedly from the age of 4 until she was a teenager, when she finally escaped to her aunt's house. When her father learned where she was, he demanded that she be returned to him, and that night he raped her again. Fortunately, a neighbor heard her screams, and he was arrested. The saddest part of this was that now that the community knew about it, they didn't support her. Instead, men approached her and told her, "You gave it up for your father, you should give it up for me too." She faced death threats from her father's family, who said that if he died in jail, they would come and burn her alive. Her mother begged the police to release the father because she didn't know how she was going to feed her children. There's no social services, there's no child protective services to come in and help these children in this instance. There's only Nyaka. We're developing a lot of programs to address this issue. We're doing community education so people understand why sexual assault happens, that it's not about sex, it's about power, it's about misogyny. We're getting a social worker to work in the schools to provide counseling and education to children, to teach little boys not to grow up in assault. And we're doing legal advocacy because we believe that if we put pressure on to the police and to the prosecutors, that they will follow through with this. And another component of that is Krewinda House. Krewinda means safety in Luchega, which is the local language spoken in the village. There we'll be able to provide immediate safe shelter, as well as potentially transitional housing depending on each survivor's individual needs. We'll be able to provide on-site counseling. We'll do case management, which will include not only the survivor, but their family and their non-offending parent. The non-offending parent will be eligible to receive microfinance loans to help them be independent of the offender if they want to. This is a pilot program, so we haven't set specific dates about when they'll come in and when they leave. Fortunately, we already have the facility. It's a house that can hold up to 14 people. It's located on our compound, surrounded by a very high fence, and it has 24-hour guard. So it's fortunate. And then you might also be asking, like, why Nyaka? Like I've already said, we are the only ones working in this area. We've had great success with past programs. It's in our DNA to look at the holistic approach and to attack it that way. And we have a great track record with involving the community, and we're currently undergoing community evaluations to better understand what they want to see programs look like. And we're also partnering with Global Health Corps Fellows to provide community education currently. We believe that as the program goes on, we're going to see reporting skyrocket and then gradually decrease as actual incidents decrease. We're asking for £6,000, which will help us keep this important program running for 7 months, and will provide up to 15 guests shelter. However, the need is great, and if anything you can give, if you want to go above that, it will help us keep it open longer and provide more sexual assault programming. So, thank you
very much.